Hi Gemini, welcome to your tarot reading for the week beginning February 22nd through the 28th. It's Rena here. It's so funny, Gemini, I was going to do your reading over again and I had all the cards here and I just absentmindedly scooped them up. So if you get a whole new spread, which is probably not a bad idea considering I did leave them out overnight. Okay, and I will be, this is the traditional Rider-Waite deck. God bless Pamela Coleman Smith for her wonderful illustrations. I'm also going to be picking a card from the Energy Oracle after I'm done with this portion of the proceedings. Put these all nice and neat. Whoa. Okay, so let's look at this for a second. A lot of fire energy with this particular time period, the end of February. So it could be somebody that you're dealing with who's fire. Doesn't, you know, when we talk about this, when we connect these cards to particular, you know, like elements, it doesn't have to be their sun sign. There are people out there who are Virgos who have very fiery natures because they have a lot of Leo or something like that. So this is one of the reasons why people use an excuse of I don't believe in astrology, because I'm not like what they tell me I am. I'm an Aries, but I'm very quiet. Well, let's see if you have like a lot of Pisces. See if you have a moon in Virgo and a lot of Pisces. You're going to be toned down. Okay. So anyway, the heart of the matter is the Four of Swords, and you may be atypically in yourself right now, Gemini. So think about that if that's true of you. You may even be kind of recovering from some kind of stressful event. Sometimes this can be like if you're at work and you've been doing a big project and you had to work long hours on it and it took a lot out of you. You might have had to even physically recuperate. But it can be also that a relationship has kind of worn you down. We have in the past position the Page of Swords. You may have found out something about a person, and that's kind of, I don't want to say destroyed you, but it certainly might have caused a lot of stress. Depending on how serious it was, you may have left that person. If it was a marital partner, perhaps you've separated from them, whatever you want to call it. But the Page of Swords can be like finding out certain news, but there can be this edge to it that has to do with conflict. And you just feel like you need some time to yourself. And but by the way, this could also be in relationship to your workplace. If it's not, yeah, I would say even with your workplace, I had mentioned about you recuperating from like a long, like a project or something like that. But I said that before I looked at the past. And so perhaps I should read the past before I read the current, right? In the near future, we're looking at the Four of Wands. This is a card of maybe purchasing a new home or getting married or just having a happy marriage. With Wands, we're talking about feeling very enthusiastic about something. So it's not like, oh, I'm so happy I'm getting married because now, you know, something practical, so that like Four of Pentacles, we will have twice as much money and we're going to have a house that we can, it'll be a great investment for us. It's really about passion with Wands. So putting all of that together, it's possible that if you will meet somebody in the future, maybe this is somebody you already know, who's a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This person is much more suited for you relationship-wise. In other words, you may have been with somebody, and it could have been a fellow air sign, if not a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, who you always felt like on edge with. You didn't believe them, and you always felt like they were telling you lies. And this other person, you may feel like you have the ability to have a future with. And so this person and you may get together in the near future. What crosses you is the Five of Wands. This can indicate that there are other people involved. I mean, more than three, you know. And if this is a work situation, this may be a very overly competitive environment. You may, you know, it's interesting because the Four of Wands for something related to your home and work may be that you're thinking about starting to work from home because you can't take the drama at work. But what's crossing you is competition. The Five of Wands is about competition, and you may feel like you may be comparing yourself to other people and what they have and thinking that you can't do it and not focusing on your own particular situation. Which is foolish because there is no comparison. If you're talking about somebody else's business and is it going to be as successful right off the bat as somebody else, you know, the Five of Wands is also about, I think, and I was just reading about this last night. What do they call that? Well, it's just like scarcity. But it has to do with competition, where you believe there's only so much to go around. And so that's why we have to compete. And that kind of thinking is a fallacy, first of all, but it also leads to more stress, which you're trying to get away from. With a romantic situation, the Five of Wands may indicate that you're with somebody or you're going to be with someone who isn't necessarily willing to give up other relationships. So in other words, it's too early for them to consider monogamy. And usually Geminis are not jealous about this, but of course mileage may vary. If you have a lot of Taurus in you, for instance, you may be a lot less laissez-faire about the person you're dating other people. But the other thing, too, is this notion about I have to compete with somebody else to get this person's attention, to get them to give something up. The best thing that you can do if you like someone and you want to be with them is act confident. I'm talking about the beginning of the relationship. You can set your own limit in your mind of, okay, I'm willing to put up with this for 6 months because I can't claim ownership of this person, but then after that I'm going to decide whether or not I want to continue. If this person is a Leo, they may be doing this in order to feed their own ego. It's not necessarily serious, and they but the thing you have to understand too is that you may feel the desire to go right into a new relationship, and another person may be kind of cautious, because if they have left a long-term relationship especially, they may be thinking, I don't want to commit to somebody right away. And if they are a fire sign, this will be especially apparent because fire signs love freedom. The advice is the Eight of Wands, and this is engaging in frequent communication. These cards can also be about events, kind of like ratcheting up, doing more with that person. So being available for any kind of activities. If this is related to a work situation, you know, get input from other people and go back and forth and, you know, brainstorm. Also, it can be telling you that there's going to be all this activity going on. You may have like kind of a little bit of a lull, and then everything is taking off. So you have to be prepared for, sometimes for very snap judgments, if like for your career, where you cannot just sit back and wait. You might have to act suddenly. Maybe you get a flurry of job offers and you've been kind of sitting back and out of the fray, and you'll have to jump right back in. You can't just dip your toe in. The outcome is a good card if you're looking for steady employment. The Knight of Pentacles is connected to Taurus, and it indicates somebody who is working methodically, but actually the word I'm looking for is consistently. So if you have had erratic work experiences or just want something very straightforward, you're probably going to get it. And it's going to bring order back into your life. If you felt like you were burnt out. It can indicate, by the way, that the person that comes in has a strong Taurus part to them. And that would be, you know, that earthy energy, which is, of course, different than you, but maybe that person helps it to act as an anchor for you, to help you. Now, this could also be a partner. I'm talking about like a business partner or a mentor or just somebody, a co-worker who you work very well with, and this person helps you in some way. So let's take a look at the energy oracle cards for a kind of a second opinion or a capper to that. The Thinking Woman. Well, couldn't pick a better card for a Gemini, especially if you are a woman. Number 47, because you are an air sign. This card shows a woman holding, oh, well, this is, I'm sorry, female of wisdom or understanding. This card shows a woman holding a book, standing before a staircase, ready to lead you to higher understanding. This woman could be a friend who helps you express and understand your feelings, or she could be a teacher brought to your life at this time to take you in a new direction. This could also be a new love interest with a woman who is thoughtful, conscientious, and aware. Or like the thinking man, the card could represent a side of yourself that's ready to blossom and bring clarity and assistance to the world. If so, find your voice and let your wisdom shine. Well, that's what I have for you, Gemini. I hope that you enjoyed this. And if you'd like a private reading, please check out my website. The link is below. Have a wonderful rest of February. Bye.